Today I want to own up to something that I've been doing that's really bad. Really bad. There's a saying that goes that do not criticize your neighbor for the speck in their eye, but ignore the log in your own. And I feel like I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been criticizing a lot of people. Maybe it's just I have too much time on my hands or something. So, I don't know. It's time to turn over a new leaf. And, as I head to my therapy again, trying to get better, I am getting better slowly every day. I had my second epidural shot on the day of our great breakdown. But I just feel like I need to start practicing a little more of that and preaching a lot less of that. By their fruits we shall know them. By the product that I yield, people should know me, not by the BS that I say every day. And I think a lot of people feel like it's good. I feel like it's good and it's safe to just kind of tell people what they should be doing. You should be doing this, you should be doing that, blah blah blah. The only problem is unless I've practiced that myself, how do I even know that it works to do something like that? Maybe it doesn't work for each individual in their own particular circumstances. I know that when people tell me that, and I kind of feel like, well, you criticize me, but you don't tell me how to do something. I mean, it may be beyond my abilities. And unless, I feel like it's, when people do that to me, it's always easy for them to say, but much harder for them to do, And again, it gets back to that original statement that I know I'm guilty of. Criticizing other people for their little flaws when I am ignoring the big flaws in my life, the fatal flaws, the ones that I should be correcting. And I know I have them. Everybody does. And one of the most valuable lessons I've learned in my life that I've tried to put into practice, I don't know if I'm very successful at it, was actually taught in an art class. Imagine that. Management taught in an art class. And actually it wasn't just an art class, it was pretty much all of them. And in the art class, at the beginning of the class, in the syllabus, the professor or teacher, instructor would always get up there and say, you're going to be graded not only on the work that you do, but on your critiques that you give. Your critiques are going to be half of the grade. So when we have critiquing sessions, you need to speak up and demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. And if you get up there and you just tell somebody ad hominem that they suck, or that their stuff is bad, or this, and you don't back it up with any kind of knowledge, we're going to stop you right there. And you'll probably have an F for the day. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. I didn't understand it then. I don't know. But yeah, because we were encouraged to, each time we did a project, there was a lesson that we had to demonstrate the knowledge of. And then in the critique, we had to demonstrate that we could show that we knew that we took in the knowledge, and that we could demonstrate our mastery of the idea. And those were our tests. Some people say, oh, art, what kind of test is that? Well, actually, it's a really good one. It's one that I know I face every day of my life. It's easy to sit back, for me, to sit back and point out what's wrong with other people's lives. Much harder to demonstrate that I know how to fix those issues, or at least how to deal with those issues. And that's what I'm thinking of, is like, how many times do I say, well, blah blah ought to do this, or blah blah ought to do that, I'm not going to give any specific examples. And then I'm sitting there in my own filth, you know, not fixing the issues in my own life. And so, yeah, that's the way it is in life. Your critique is half the battle, half of everything. You have to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about by doing it. I mean, it's easy to say that. Here's a good example for me. I don't like that person because they're fat. Who am I to speak, you know? I don't like blah-de-blah because they're ugly. Well, you know, that's not a great way of demonstrating your knowledge of value in this world. You know, everybody has what they are given. They have to work with what they are given. I would much rather admire somebody who is given little and has made much of it than people who are given much and just kind of take it for granted. Again, talking about myself. I mean, it's so easy to deflect, to look out at other people, but you know, that's all it is deflection away from what we should be looking inward, not outward. So anyway, that's just what's on my mind this morning. Maybe for the one or two people who watch this video, you can let me know what you think. Anyway, gots to go get better.